Odar is going to come and share about an update from the building committee.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
It's great to be here this morning. About 15 years ago, I was in a business meeting with Martha Yerby. At that time, she was known as Martha Brubaker. We started talking a little bit about church, and before you knew it, Martha invited me and my family to attend a Portage First service. After a few Sundays, it didn't take long before we were hooked on Methodism and were made to feel welcome by this congregation. Sandy and I were plugged into activities right away, and our kids Danielle and Frank became part of Sunday school and eventually went on through the Christmas flight. Our son Adam is part of the current confirmation class here at Portage First. I soon became involved as a trustee of the church, and during that process, I learned that we were growing in numbers and the need for additional worship space became very apparent to everyone. Just about 10 years ago, in 2003, a building committee was formed, and I became part of that committee. At first, we focused on the possibility of expanding our current facilities, but after several meetings, it was apparent that our small 2.5-acre parcel just wasn't large enough to handle the additional parking requirements of a larger church. As the church footprint would expand on this site, the parking area would decrease, and so it was obvious that we needed to look for another location to build a new church. We attended church planning seminars and found out that if your parking lot is over 80% full, people will not attend for the first time because their impression is that the church is full and there is little or no room for newcomers. For the rest of 2003 and 2004, we kept our eyes open for vacant land listings. We were focused on 10 to 20-acre parcels that had a Portage address. In January of 2005, the land we now call Crossroads was listed by a realtor with the intent of selling it for subdivision development. What an opportunity it was for us to consider purchasing a piece of land right next door. A piece of land that had not only an abundance of acreage, but also had several buildings, and it was located within the city limits of Portage. In March of 2005, we purchased Crossroads for $385,000, and over time, the property has been paid off. We immediately started working on the farmhouse as an alternative meeting facility for small groups. Through a $20,000 grant from the United Methodist Conference, we were able to install new windows, replace the hot water boiler, gut and remodel the kitchen and bath, and replace the carpeting. While Larry and Mike Vaughn were ripping out floors and walls, we received a call about the need to host a family that was displaced by Hurricane Katrina. We couldn't work hard enough or fast enough to prepare this home in time for this family, but we did, thanks to the efforts of many people from this congregation. Even local businesses made donations once they learned that we were hosting a hurricane relief family. Beyond the farmhouse, we removed several shed-type buildings, cleared hundreds of trees, and shared story upon story of who had poison oak or poison ivy that month. Our seniors enjoyed the community garden that yielded vines of tomatoes and other vegetables, many of which were donated to the food pantry. And how about pumpkins used for Halloween? A prayer path with reflection stations was constructed for those who enjoyed visiting Crossroads and walking. Soon volleyball and horseshoe pits were installed for outdoor activities. We have held potlucks, picnics, and even day-long music festivals known as August Rush. We've had campouts, Boy Scouts, daytime hayrides, haunted hayrides, and baseball practices. Let's not forget about Easter egg hunts, mortgage burnings, and weenie roasts. Folks, Crossroads has been a blessing to us all. It has provided a sanctuary of faith and hope that instills our Methodist values in a way that's unmatched. It's tangible. It's an asset for this church. It's an asset to this community. It's a property with unlimited potential. Our building committee has ideas that need to be nurtured and prayed heavily about. Over the next few weeks, you'll be introduced to those ideas visually as we unveil renderings of a new church and an actual video flyby of what the church could look like. So hold on to your hats as the winds of change are blowing. Pray heavily for this church. Pray heavily for our building committee and for our desire and need to grow and to bring more people to Christ. Thank you.